Today's reading goal is to be able to explain the different compromises made at the Constitutional Convention and the effects on the Constitution. Section 7, Resolution, the 3/5 Compromise. After a bitter debate, Madison proposed a compromise. Count each slave as 3/5 of a person, he suggested, when determining a state's population for representation in the House of Representatives. The delegates approved this idea, which became known as the 3/5 Compromise, because it seemed the only way to keep the convention moving forward. Another slavery issue. A dispute over trade raised another issue about slavery. To help business in the North, Northern delegates favored giving Congress broad power to control trade between the states and other countries. But this proposal made Southern delegates nervous. They worried that Congress might try to tax Southern export crops, such as rice and tobacco. Southerners also worried that Congress would use its power over trade to outlaw the slave trade, the importing of slaves from Africa. Southerners had reason to be fearful. By 1787, several states had outlawed the slave trade within their boundaries. A majority of the convention's delegates favored ending the slave trade completely. South Carolina and Georgia, however, objected that their economies would collapse without a constant supply of new slaves. Neither state would agree to any constitution that threatened to end the slave trade. More compromises on slavery. Again, the delegates settled on a compromise. Congress would have the power to control trade, but with two limitations. First, Congress could not place any tax on exports to other countries. Second, Congress could not interfere with the slave trade for 20 years, or until 1808. To satisfy Southerners, the delegates also agreed to a provision known as the Fugitive Slave Clause. This clause said that escaped slaves had to be returned to their owners, even if they were caught in a free state. The compromises only postponed the day when Americans would have to resolve the terrible contradiction between slavery and the ideals of liberty and equality. However, without the compromises, the states might never have come together in a single union. Still, generations of African Americans would spend their lives in bondage.